are unable to take the chase because they won't make it are still taken care of.
Yeah, but nobody want to pay taxes.
Yeah, I'll pay.
And then people want to gut the education system. Like, Switzerland's freaking social programs are fucking crazy. Like, they have like free healthcare, they have free education. It's nothing like the U.S. And then it's more expensive to live there. So like, people are paying taxes to make sure that their communities grow, and we're not doing that. We don't want to do that. Like Dr. A.J. said, you have to have people at the bottom to support the people. Like, it's just, you got your worker bees and you got people that climb up. It's a bad comparison, honestly. Unless you want to pay these taxes. Because a lot of y'all come up here talking about, you want to eliminate taxes. You want tariffs to be higher so you won't have to pay taxes. Like, it's crazy.
And in Switzerland, they tax assets at a higher rate than we do, right? Because we have all these states where people have assets that don't get taxed, right? Or the rates are reduced for the asset tax. And they tax, okay, so their tax structure is amazingly more, I don't want to say complicated, but deeper than ours. Okay, you're going to go on mute because I do not want to hear you nursing your baby or whatever you're doing. So that's another consideration, Patty, that you're bringing up. Like, their tax structure is very different. So it's easy to look at these countries and say, oh, you're doing great. Like, people like to talk about Finland and Switzerland and all of that, but then nobody's talking about how those countries fund those programs.
Right, nobody want to talk about how they're going to have to contribute to make sure that this is sustainable. Nobody wants to talk about it.
Like, the problem is unchecked capitalism. They have capitalism, but it's not unchecked. We live in a system where the capitalists run the show. So since Reagan, we've had capitalists running it. So we have unchecked capitalism. It's not even capitalism right now. We're at the point where it's just, we're here through from assets. So this is not the traditional capitalism that's practiced in those northern European nations. That's why it's incomparable.
I think it's pretty simple to me. If you offer free health care,
You're in the matrix. You're in the matrix. You're going in.
I think it's pretty simple. If you give the society, you make the society healthy, the society can work to keep it going. All of these abandoned buildings and abandoned houses, the government needs to open those up to the homeless. These restaurants that throw all this food away every day after they're finished, give it out to the homeless. Open up these places so people can have places to live. Free health care. Education should be free. We're giving back into the society with the education we have. So I don't understand why we can't run the country that way, because now we're healthy and we're able to get out and keep the money moving.
Because only a few of us want that. Like, the people, the ruling class doesn't want that. Like, we being honest, they don't want equity. That's equity.
Yeah, but a lot of broke people that came on the stage and said they don't want to pay taxes. So what's next?
Yeah, I mean that's because they're listening to the millionaires that are paid by billionaires to convince them that. That's it. They're repeating things. They don't know what they're talking about. Not to be disrespectful, but any poor person advocating for services to be removed from other poor people, it's fundamentally flawed in their thinking.
Yeah. Counterproductive. We need a system update.
But pretty, you
All I'm saying is all these poor people need to get up, get out, and get something. Then we would not have poverty. Outcast done told y'all what you need to do to eliminate poverty. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, just giving the food trash to the poor. That's just making them not.
But most of that food isn't trash. Because they even discovered this during the pandemic, right? Where they showed how these restaurants, they have to dispose of food. They can't give it to people. So people have to rescue it from dumpsters. They can't give it to people because of food regulation.
Well, that's not
right.
They'd be open lawsuits.
They do.
Right. And then if you, Costco, for example, has a program where, Costco has the best return policy in the world.
Oh yeah.
And they have a program where when people return things, as long as the things are unopened, unused, they donate those things to organizations, that feed the homeless or whatever. And I'm in an organization, we have community refrigerators. We got 2,000 pounds of food from Costco that they donated so that we could, populate our community refrigerators. Those 2,000 pounds of food lasted 1 week in our refrigerators. So all of that food that you're talking about, sir, that stuff isn't wasted. Like, it's not rotten food. Some of it is consumable food that organizations like restaurants, right, businesses are forced to throw away. It's waste that could be used, and that's the point that the sister was making. So establish a program where that food can be legally donated, right? Or establish programs where that food isn't going into landfills. That's what she's talking about. She's not talking about giving people sour milk. That's not what she's talking about.
Now, I don't know if it's different in other states, but like in Illinois, that does happen. I'll give you an example, like McDonald's, for example. Many probably don't know this, but they do that. A lot of their waste and stuff that you don't buy, they bag that shit up in plastic bags. It's gonna sound nasty, but this will actually tell you the state of how things are. They bag that shit up in plastic bags. They put it in the cooler, right, to meet food safety regulation. And then a company comes and picks it up. They mash all that food up, because literally all the food, so whatever McDonald's is throwing away, they mash that shit up together and they serve it kind of like you can imagine what it looks like. But they do that. And it sounds crazy, but they do it.
And also, it's not just, there's a lot of places, Trader Joe's does is food about to go, like this is the last 2 days, or 3 days, whatever, of fruit, vegetables, and bread, they can actually pull up to the docks, and they have those products they can actually give out to people as well. And there's been in the past few years, okay, I don't know what's happening right now. In the past few years, there have been a lot of companies that have initiatives that comes to reducing waste and repurposing the food that they have as well. So yes, it can happen. Yes, and right. Yes, we are doing this, and we can do more with it as well. To Pretty's point, right? To everyone else's point, was saying that, like, we have these programs. These definitely should be accelerated. There's one program too that came out, new app that you can buy, like, leftover food for restaurants at like a heavily discounted price, like Chipotle. Oh, I don't remember the app. I'll put it in the chat. But there's an app you can go on to, and you can order. Like, I don't know how it works out, but it's really heavily affordable price. That's like pennies on the dollar in comparison to the regular dish.
Too good to go.
Too good to go. Thank you, guys.
One interesting case is Canada. It's true that like most peer countries spend more on social spending as percentage of GDP, but Canada, for example, does not. United Kingdom is also close, and they have much better outcomes on like relative poverty rates than the United States has, right? While spending like comparably, basically, throughout, like, I guess 1980s. I'm trying not to double check the data just in case. It ticked up after the pandemic in Canada, but before that the social spending is comparable with better outcomes on poverty. United States is especially compared to peer countries, even accounting for spending differences, is doing really bad for child poverty rate. So, yeah, obviously taxing is fair to point it out, but the United States is just doing badly with the money it spends on these programs currently.
Yeah, doesn't Canada have that little kind of payment that they give to children or to the families that have kids, depending on how much you make?
Yeah, they have lots of stuff, but like all of that combined, right there, social spending as percentage of GDP is like around the same as United States, averaged out throughout years.
They have a pension. They have a public pension program. They have something similar to our damn Social Security, where older people get guaranteed money. It's crazy.
Even the women get paid leave. I believe it's like 5 years after they have a baby.
And some of these European countries, the men get paid leave too. I think they changed it in places like these Norwegian countries, where I think the man can get up to a year and the woman gets up to a year. So it's like that way both parents have time in the child's life.
Let me get paid like 14 baby.
Separate from vacation pay. They get like annual vacation pay, which we don't.
Yeah, the new company understood what they thought if I'm gonna have kids.
Yeah, so it's really weird when people say get rid of these social programs, because it's not like we have the best social programs. And then the brokest people come on stage talking about he's getting rid of taxes. What did Omar say?
Omar is totally.
How does that affect him?
It does affect him. He's a carpentry. He works in carpentry, right? Infrastructure.
Oh, he works construction.
Omar?
Yeah, he's an electrician, right?
Yeah, he's actually in that program. I thought he was.
That's what it is. That's the problem. He's Tommy from Martin. I don't know what the fuck I'm Martin.
Yeah, but don't pay attention to Project 2025. Pay attention to America first. That's where the meat is.
Amen. I agree.
One other thing I forgot.
Go ahead.
Yeah, Section 8 is one of those policies that pays for itself. For every 1 million spent through public housing programs, it creates additional $1 million in investment in the local economy. I mean, we can criticize the provision of it. I mean, like how hard it is to get and stuff like that. The net social benefits are hard to disprove for everyone.
Exactly, and to build upon that, Philip, regarding the things that can be improved upon, not only in terms of the difficulty, a lot of that depends on the state agency you're working with, but for many individuals who have family members who are dealing with housing insecurity, and individuals who are dealing with medical crises, medical emergencies, and who need additional adults in the house, one of the problematic things about Section 8 is that if you don't have, for example, if you have somebody in the house who isn't on the lease, you'll have your voucher terminated. But like, absolutely, definitely not disputing any of the net positives. It's just when you're talking about especially vulnerable communities that rely upon different individuals to come into their house who are trying to help other folks. That's just one thing I really wish I could see improved when it comes to the Section 8 program.
Yeah, as you said that Black for You, it just reminds me of all the propaganda and misinformation surrounding the program. Because, I mean, you probably heard it on Club Notes, but I mean, that was the system the Democrats allegedly used to get the black man out of the home. Am I the only one who's heard that one?
That's true.
Sorry, I was working out. I've heard of it. Yeah. I mean, I would love to read more studies. I don't know enough about it to speak confidently about it to say one way or the other. I think as a general point though, I do think, like I said before, when it comes to vulnerable communities, targeted and marginalized communities that rely on these programs, and their circumstances will vary from family to family. When you can't have additional people in the household to support you or to support them, it just makes it very difficult for people to fall within the whole parameter, the entire parameters that are stipulated in your housing voucher agreement and your lease agreement for landlords who do take Section 8 vouchers.
Aren't they required to take Section 8 vouchers? Sorry, this is up.
No. So now
Yeah.
Go.
I was just going to say, recently there's been an amendment since January 1st, and at least in California, where this is a great question, that by law, all landlords across the board cannot deny you for simply having what is called now a housing choice voucher with the rebranding of Section 8. So they're trying to change the entire stigma attached to Section 8. The stigma of not being able to rent, the stigma of it being very difficult to get a Section 8 voucher. They're trying to change all that and update it with the inflation, with just the mass evolution that's been happening due to the technological and the fourth wave of the Industrial Revolution, right?
That's a great point, Walter. Unfortunately, there are still landlords who not only deny Section 8 vouchers, but will advertise that they do not accept Section 8 vouchers. Right? Like you can go on Zillow right now and find private landlords who say we do not accept Section 8. I mean, it's very similar to, this is a different kind of thing, but I'm going to try to draw the analogy. Every state is supposed to have an analog to the Federal Fair Housing Act. A state like New Mexico, for example, doesn't have that analog, and there are other states that don't have it as well. So, it's just, it really comes down to a person filing a lawsuit. However, how many people are going to spend their, who has money for that, or who's going to go to a legal aid society to file a lawsuit against a particular landlord who doesn't do it. So absolutely, it's just that a lot of landlords will say, hey, do something about it if you think I'm violating the law.
Or make a new excuse just to avoid the accusations of discrimination. Oh, I can't rent, you got a dog, or, you got this, they'll make something up.
Me personally, I think the Section 8 program should be designated for our elders and our disabled. And the working class people need to get out and work to make the community, the ecosystem thrive. Even if that's entrepreneurship.
Single mothers out here negative.
Yeah, I mean, just because you're a single mom does not mean you can't contribute to society. It's not a disability. I'm a single mom myself.
Okay, can she finish? Hold on. Let her finish her point first, and then you can come in, because I want to hear this argument again. So go ahead, Pretty.
What I'm saying is, if we want our society to thrive, we can't have a class of people that decide to utilize the social services that are there temporarily for people who need gaps when they have babies and they have unemployment episodes. That's what the social programs are for. But for the ones who stay on them, not just our community, because actually our community does not have it more than the whites. So what I'm saying is the working class need to be working so we can still have the Social Security program for our elders and disabled people. That's what we need to do to make this community thrive.
I would,
Why are we assuming that all people on Section 8 aren't working? there's a lot of people on Section 8 who are working. They just simply aren't making enough income. So, what do you think that percentage? What do you think that percentage is, pretty? So, do you think all people in Section 8 just don't work? There's people in Section 8 that are pretty.
I never said I have family members. I grew up in
So these people are putting down payments. These people they're paying a percentage of the rent. Sometimes the Section 8 just not, it makes you still pay a percentage of the rent. Some of it, a lot of the time it's income based. But I get what you're trying to say, but you're just making it seem like everyone in Section 8 are just freelancers.
I never said that, so please don't.
I didn't say you said it. Just that's the way I'm interpreting it.
I never said that, so I'm
I'm going to continue to interpret it that way because it just seems like you're saying that people on Section 8 they stop getting it and get to work. That means you're saying they're freeloaded. I mean, what are you saying then?
Okay, let me explain for the ones in the back. Let me explain for the ones in the back. Okay, so the social programs are to be used as a gap filler for people that have babies. Disabled and elderly that's long-term use. Now, if all people should be working if they are working by able-bodied individuals. Do you believe that?
Even children?
Okay, I'm done with this conversation.
Yeah,
I wanted to say something. I was listening when I was on my way back from the airport. As y'all all know, my name Brooklyn, and I'm from New York City, and I just came from home. I'm back in Atlanta. And I say all of that to say the comment that was made about Section 8 housing being, I don't know, I was like, they were saying that it was a bad place to live for the people. Like the houses weren't being inspected or whatever the case may be. It's not the case in every city. And I'm going to just give you some information. So here in Atlanta, Georgia, it's predominantly black for the most part. A lot of people, my aunt actually works for the City of College Park Section 8 program. And they're really diligent about their inspections, both from the perspective of the tenant and the landlord. So the landlord has to have it kept a certain way, and the tenant also has to have it keep it up in a certain way. New York City is the same. I don't know if these small towns, maybe I don't, go to small towns enough. But for the most part, the people that's on Section 8, they're not complaining. And if they are complaining, they have the opportunity to move into a new property. That's the beauty of it. It's guidelines around the program to keep them, in a decent situation. So, say you have a landlord who won't come and fix the water heater, and you might have this. It's an ongoing situation for months, and he refuses. That tenant goes to the Section 8 department in which they the county where they live. They make the complaint that the Section 8 people will find them somewhere else to live that's comparable to where they stay at. And I'm talking about, it's people that have 5-bedroom houses, brand new, nice. It's not in old people, young people, all kinds of people. So I don't understand this I don't understand what the lady was saying when she was basically saying that they don't need it because the housing is dilapidated. Is that what she said? Something like that. Like the landlords are scum landlords. That's not the case all the time because they definitely have to be held accountable. Actually, Section 8 landlords are held to a higher standard than the average regular market rent landlord.
Brooklyn, I'm sorry, please continue.
No, I was just using that as an example. Like, I also don't think that it would be a fair thing for people to not be able to have the program. Like, I don't think that you should take it away from everybody just because a few, because the bad actors and people were sitting on it for a long time. These people were in need, and like somebody said earlier, now in 2025, you have to have a job. You have to have employment in order to keep them Section 8 vouchers. And if you don't, then you have to have some kind of disability. It has to be some kind of income in order. And a decent income, but something where they're able to you're able to pay the balance or whatever it is that the apartment is worth. So I don't understand this concept or how. Have y'all been in any Section 8 housing? Do y'all know anybody? Like, you have to speak from a more personal standpoint and more knowledgeable. Y'all just be throwing shit in the air and don't be knowing what the fuck y'all talking about.
Those are great points. Just real quick, I think Brooklyn raises like a very, very important point when it comes to folks who are using Section 8 vouchers and who are working with their local housing administration agencies. What Brooklyn raised was the fact that, like, whenever a person who has a voucher, a housing voucher, has an issue, they can go to their local agency and that agency can advocate on their behalf. So what you ultimately have is someone who's standing in on behalf of the tenant to advocate for them when it comes to, let's say, unfair leasing terms, when it comes to some kind of property issue, and essentially has, for lack of a better term, counsel, right, to advocate for them. I mean, I've dealt with cases where you had a private landlord, as I had alluded to before, just unfavorable leasing terms and tried to increase the rent out of nowhere on the tenant who had been there for years. And the agency was like, no, we're like, until the lease is up, we're not negotiating on the leasing terms. Like, the terms are locked in just based on basic contract law. Leaving aside the whole fair housing issue, like, the terms are locked in. You can't just change them willy-nilly. When you don't have someone like that advocating for you, like, you may fuck around and end up in an unfavorable situation where, like, all of a sudden you're paying a whole bunch of money for rent, or you have some weird ass term, and then you end up evicted, right? And then you have to try to figure things out on the back end. Like, and I think that's like what Brooklyn raised. I think that's one of the reasons why there are still landlords who do not want to deal with individuals on Section 8, because they have someone they have to deal with, particularly the agency, who can actually advocate for those tenants and actually know about housing law, as opposed to trying to take advantage of tenants who may not know a lot about it. So I think those are great points that Brooklyn raised.
Hey, give me a second, yeah.
Can I get my phone?
I'll try to kick out our buddy in the bottom.
They're playing Jay-Z now to get me out. That's hilarious.
What, man? What? Listen to copyrighted music, that dude on the bottom. Get your ass out of here. Oh, okay. Dude's in here recording us again.
Oh, that's smart. That was really smart.
Yeah, but he's still here.
Only dudes moving units and pimp juice and us, Charlie.
But that goes to my point. That goes to my earlier point about landlord, like the individual landlords who don't have the Section 8 vouchers, or you can argue there are some that are level predatory when it comes to their tenants, and they abuse the fact that they don't understand the shit law. They abuse the fact that they I think it's a concern. You abuse the fact that they are dependent on their housing, and they will sometimes even strong arm on a lot of situations like that. So,
but I don't know about just having to go to work and it'll change your life. I should talk about that.
this is what I would say. You know, a lot of us live in individualism. Like one of the ladies said, well, in my place, it doesn't do that. That doesn't mean it's not other places. If you go to these projects, and a lot of these Section 8 and public housing.
See, that's where let me stop you there. It's a different program when you live in the projects. It's not Section 8.
If you go to public housing in a lot of these ghettos, what they call them, hoods, projects, you'll see that they're supposed to be inspected by these governmental agencies. And if they're being inspected, why are these people having to live in houses with broken walls, doors, tubs from the 1800s, roaches, rats? I mean, it's terrible. It's terrible.
Right. So, like I was about to say, you got the programs made. That's the part of the reason why y'all be speaking on things that y'all have no clue of. It's the public housing program is totally different from Section 8. It's a different program. Like, they even have here in Georgia, they call it they based on income. So if you make a low income but you don't have a Section 8 voucher, and they don't even have project housing here anymore. You could rent from a landlord who's offering rent based on income. Those houses, those properties be kind of dilapidated, yes. But that's a different program, and that's the problem in which y'all speak of. Y'all don't know exactly what y'all speaking of, and you're taking one scenario and you're mixing it with another, and it's not the same.
So how do you know what we know? That's what you don't know what we know.
I'm telling you, when you said project apartments, you told the whole story that you don't know.
Yeah,
we're talking about Section 8. Right. It's a different. Those are two different programs. You can speak for one, and a lot of those apartments that are they are owned by they're not public housing. Those are a lot of those. I know it here in Georgia. A lot of that shit is owned by private companies that rent to low income people, and they have no restrictions at all.
Okay.
They don't have to hold up to the standards of a person that's renting their house out or a building out for Section 8. It's a different scenario.
Full disclosure, my mother, just real quick, my mother, she rents out properties, and one of her townhomes, she takes Section 8 vouchers. It's a beautiful townhome. So it's just simply not true that, like, you have, like, it's actually a very gross stereotype that I think is used to perpetuate this idea that people shouldn't be on public assistance, that, folks who are using Section 8 vouchers are ended up in dilapidated homes. It's just simply not true.
They could shop it out.
I can say what I've seen. You guys can't take my.
But then they shopped around. They shopped around for that home. That's what they looked for.
But what I'm saying is, to say just because in your city the Section 8 houses are not that way does not mean other cities they're not. You have not been to every Section 8 house in every state, so you can't say that.
Yeah, but regardless of what the majority is, though, regardless of what the majority of the world is saying, because we can't just go by all these anecdotes. At some point, you're talking about how to fix the system, right? That's the basis of this conversation. We can't have a conversation fixing the system just going by your solo anecdotal experience.
So,
There's confusion.
That's what they said right there.
There's a confusion. As Brooklyn was saying, Section 8 housing is not a thing. There is public housing, and one of the ways people move out of public housing is using Section 8 to go on a private market, right, from a landlord that accepts, well, in some states they have to accept, right, Section 8 vouchers on the private market. Those Section 8 housing is not a thing. It's not administered by the government. It might be dilapidated as any house could be on a private market and would command a certain price for it, right? But it's a private market, like a regular rent, right? Except, I guess, some percentage, I think 70, it depends, right? 70, more information can talk about it, is covered by the voucher. That's all, right? If people dislike public housing, Section 8 is one of the ways people move out from it, from public housing.
And not to mention that Section 8 has a program attached to it that allows those people who live in Section 8, it's like, yeah, that allows the people in Section 8 to purchase a home with a stipend from the government, under restrictions, of course, but they allow these people to take their voucher and purchase a home. And you want that to go away is ridiculous to me. That shit is stupid.
I'm gonna be honest with you. The last part you just said, do these people know they can buy a house?
Some people don't, but people that's on that be having their ear to the street, or if they have like my aunt, like I told you, she worked for the Section 8 in College Park. She, like, when you have one of those kind of counselors, you know, the people that, you know, walk you through and do all your paperwork. Some people explain that to you, some of them don't. My aunt is one of them that do. But, you know, one of my friends
it's on any website, Brooklyn.
And it's on all the websites.
It's on all websites.
But my friend in New York, she got it. That's how she got a house in New York City, in Queens, with a Section 8 voucher that she transferred over to purchase a home.
No,
so
it does. I have family members that a few of them that was like I think Section 8. I'm assuming because it was in it. I know. I'm in
public housing. Yes, public housing is usually in the hood. Section 8, you can be in the uppity neighborhood. Great, amazing school district.
They got fucking Section 8.
If you want to find something, if you have decent credit, you can go into a good neighborhood with Section 8, guys.
They have a Section 8 program in every county, I think. I believe it's in every county. They have some kind of program in every county across America. And you would be surprised that a lot of some of the people that are renting the home in your neighborhood, they're on Section 8. And you wouldn't even know it.
And you wouldn't even know.
Yeah, you wouldn't even know it.
I'm going to be honest, when it comes to like, I don't know what this shit called, public housing or government assistance, I'm hella ignorant to it, so I didn't mean to say anything stupid like that.
No, it's just, it's simple. Public housing is projects. Those projects, all you can do is move from project to project. That's all you can do. You cannot go into any homes, any apartments. You are stuck to those buildings. That is public housing. You are stuck to those three. I know you guys are not in, for the ones that are not in New York, you are stuck into these little complex, whether they're 4 floors, 3 floors, whatever the case is. Section 8, you can go to Puerto Rico with Section 8. You can go to all states with Section 8. And once again, you can buy a home. Okay, but that also has to do with, a lot of these people have a lot of evictions under their belt. They don't have the best credit, so they are not gonna get what the ones that do have good credit or don't have any evictions. That's what it literally.
Please, Bruno.
I was gonna say there are literally like landlords that take advantage of people with bad credit. So they have so many different like ways of, you know, getting these people in these dilapidated properties, and they have nothing to do with Section 8 because a lot of those people don't have Section 8. Some people got kicked off the voucher because that happens, you know. Like, everybody don't keep their shit the whole, 30 years or whatever we wanted to say. Right. Some people get kicked off the program. They have really, like, it's really strict. So if you have a son or a daughter that lives with you and that person gets in trouble with the law, you can get kicked out.
If he's a felon, he gotta go.
Like, easy. It's like, right, it's so, they are super strict when it comes to seconds, they know that it's it's highly like people need it. So if you're not following the rules, they're gonna kick you fucking off the program and get somebody else in. That'll be somebody else's voucher.
And landlords sometimes will try to find violations so that they can so that the tenant can get kicked off the Section 8, because they know that once the tenant's kicked off the Section 8 program, housing voucher program, they're unlikely to be able to afford the rent, and so it effectively becomes a form of an eviction. And then just quickly pivoting to public housing, it's also not the case that, and I know people know this, like there's public housing that we typically think of, but there's also public housing where it's actually in pretty good areas, and the public housing is actually pretty good. But because you have a lot of wealthy areas that, do rezoning bullshit, they try to make sure that public housing doesn't exist in their suburbs so that people can avail themselves to nicer school districts, nicer libraries, and so on.
And furthermore, good morning, everybody. Good morning. Hope you're having an ultra amazing day in existence. What's Saeed Shama? Furthermore, here in LA, and pretty much mostly in all states, you have to call if you see a new property being built, like a skyrise, call the leasing, call the management company and ask them, hey, do you happen to have a list of HUD units that are set aside that are drastically reduced all the way down? So there's low-income housing units, and then there's affordable housing units and HUD units. So there's 3 different programs, probably more, depending if someone totally.
I was about to speak on what you just said. They call it in Houston. They call it essential. If I'm saying the word right, essential housing. I'll be honest, I didn't know what the fuck that was. I was looking for an apartment before I moved back here.
The raw life appears to be insufficient. The strong life appears to be...
Central that original price for that apartment is $1,800, but we rented it out for $1,300. It was a luxury apartment.
Yeah, like New York, you can live on Fifth Avenue for the low. So, for the low compared to everybody else is living on Fifth Avenue. So, yeah, and not to mention, like I was saying before, a lot of the properties that you see, especially the ones that's dilapidated, especially apartment buildings, because it's not too often that you see, like, unless it's like a highly populated area where they have a lot of different apartments and people basically live on top of each other, like in New York, where people will have Section 8 in apartments. When you go to the outskirts, you go to the country, you go to, less populated areas, they living in houses. They're not living in apartment buildings with Section 8. So when you see somebody that live in an apartment building and the apartment building is dilapidated, I implore you to ask if that's a public housing or if that's like, who's it owned by, basically. If it's owned by a private investor, or if it's owned by the city. Because you'll be surprised. A lot of these apartments are owned by by a private investor.
And I'm not the Matrix now, I think. But one thing you just said was like, is that you have to get paid under $50,000 for to approve for that. I think in Houston it's like that, because every apartment complex. When I was researching, they was like, we got this complex if you get paid $150,000. I'm like, I don't know if I will approve for that, but I gotta see what's up, whatever, because it's like a lot of times what she had told me was that some apartment complexes or whatever, they gotta have 10% or 20% of affordable apartments or units and different things like that for people and stuff like that.
They have like programs like the Second Chance program. Second Chance is like a private investor that they know that people you know, they got bad credit. They probably got evicted from their last apartment. They let them, you know, live in their apartment, and it might be in the ghetto. It might be bullets flying all around them. But it's a chance for them to, you know, have a roof over their head, and they take advantage of that. They don't clean the property. They don't renovate anything. Everything is old. You know, that type of shit happens too, and that has nothing to do with Section 8 or public housing for that matter.
On New York, was actually, I said Houston, they're talking about New York. I think right now people are just talking about in their states or their cities and stuff like that.
Well, I'm actually talking about, when I say
I think Brooklyn's talking on Georgia and New York.
I'm talking about Georgia and New York, yeah.
Okay, so I'm referring to New York and Texas because you're only going to speak on what you know, right? We're not just going to be speaking on every state. If you want to find out about your state, Google it and pull up the website and then you get information. I'm not going to give you the whole 50 states.
Hey, not the whole 50 states. But nah,
she couldn't because each state has its own measures and regulations.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Just look at the website. We're gonna speak from where we lived. You know what we're familiar with.
Yeah, I mean, but I think everybody has the same thing. What we're saying is like that LA, New York, and different places like that. It's just that I think we don't know that. Well, I didn't know that for sure. I met people that lived in Beverly Hills in LA that was like talking about, yeah, I live in a special unit. I said, the fuck is a special unit? So my rent's only $800 a month. I'm like, wait a minute, the rent's $2,500. But some of those apartments like that have like a weight control.
I'm on somebody's Section 8 voucher list somewhere, because when I was in college, anytime a program opened up, I was goddamn signing up, because I swore that I wanted me some Section 8 until I realized how strict it was, and I was like, I can't do that, because they're going to be all in my business. But, yeah, like, what? And it affords people that only make a certain amount of money. Like you say like me personally, both my parents was gone by the time I was 21, and I'm basically out on my own. I got family or whatever, but I want to be able to take care of myself. So imagine a person like me that don't really have that much family like that, or really don't have nowhere to, they can't go to their parents' house, basically. They need these type of programs, whether it's Section 8 or whether it's some kind of affordable housing. Like the affordable housing programs here in Georgia is perfect for a young adult. It's perfect for a struggling single mother, or a guy, a man that he basically working, and he making ends meet, paycheck to paycheck, but he can't afford to pay $2,500 in rent because, contrary to popular belief, rent is high as hell here in Georgia. As hell, okay. So I think all of the programs is necessary, and everybody needs to be able to get on it.
Hey, what you just said about Georgia? Hey, 2020, 21, when I was out there visiting, well, I wasn't visiting, I was looking because of COVID. But a regular house is like $1,200-1,300. That same house is $2,500, and you want an apartment in the hood, it's like $1,000 to $1,200. Then for people that's trying to come there and come visit, or people that can't really afford it, they're gonna rent a room for another. It's like $800 to $1,000. So it's like, Georgia's out. They lost their goddamn mind.
Yeah, the people renting rooms. Oh my God, I don't. And then it's so many people that need when I tell you that since 2020 to 2025, right now, I've seen the growth of the tent cities under the expressways in Atlanta. I've seen it, and everywhere you go, it's homeless people just all over, in every county. I be trying to figure out, I was in Griffin like a few weeks ago. I'm saying to myself, how the fuck they get to Griffin? With no car. You all the way, you an hour away from the city. Like, it's homeless people everywhere in every county, all over the place, and they going from being able to. They staying at extended stays until they run out of money. Them extended stays are fucking. That's $1,000 a month or more. That shit is crazy. And the people that own these hotels, the people that own these different properties, that live in all of these different countries. That's why I say immigration wasn't the problem with the poor people. It's the rich people that was the fucking problem. Like I could point out a gang of people that's from Turkey because I worked for a company and it was a manufacturing company, and the owner and everybody in the executive office were from Turkey. Okay, a manufacturing company in Georgia, and it's several of them. Okay, I was worried about. They were talking about the Mexicans coming across the border. The problem is the people coming from Europe and Asia.
Now,
Those are immigrant. That's the issue.
What you just said, the one thing about places like Georgia or anywhere, these people from New York and in LA, they selling homes for $1.5–2 million, or even $900,000, moving to the South buying up all the homes. Even other companies that had apartment complexes and they own different apartment complexes and stuff like that, move to Georgia and different things like that, and find up things and put new regulations. That's the reason why some of the clubs in Buckhead is not there no more, because they trying to add a lot of rules to a lot of things right now. But and that's why you're seeing Bankhead starting to be gentrified and being pushed out because of that too.
There's $800,000 properties on Bankhead with crackheads across the street. Like what?
Trust me, like y'all worry about trust. I live on
Bankhead too.
But this is the thing. What you just said. The reason why a lot of people, like, remember I said it earlier. I don't know if you was in the room. Our own people are selling us out, meaning as in, a lot of people are not going to sell their homes to a white person knocking at their door half the time. It's just my opinion. It's not a fact. It's just an opinion. I remember working on the movie, and somebody came and knocked on the door and say, "Hey, do you want to sell your home?" I'm like, "Well, I'm just renting this place to shoot a movie right now. It's not my home." Well, I get the owner. We trying to buy the home from them, and I looked at the price of the home. The home was $200,000, but what I heard was these people are buying these people homes for $300,000, $400,000, like double the price of how much the value is, and then going around doing what you just said, they selling a home for 2 times higher or 3 times higher than what they bought it for. And I realized that people in Georgia, the average person is not getting paid. That they not getting paid more than $4,000 or $5,000 a month. So how can the fuck can they afford those homes?
What people supposed to do? I just said for those that want the Section 8 program to go away, what y'all want people to do?
Oh, that was a question before I came in. They were asking what they were asking.
That's what I'm trying to figure out, because what the hell y'all want them to do?
They don't answer that part because they just assume everyone in Section 8 is just chilling at home, not even working or nothing.
Somebody had mentioned they think that Section 8 should just be for old people. Well, let me tell you something about that. Most of these new apartment complexes that they're throwing up are for old people. They are covered, okay? Everywhere.
Yeah, they're doing a lot of 55 and over and 65 and over apartments.
I be like, damn, it's regular people, regular age people need apartments too. But they just throwing them up all over you, everywhere you go. In New York too. They got apartments 60, 55 and over.
Yeah, here in Texas.
So old people covered. They covered.
That means they don't want no kids running around the hallways of the apartment complex. It's grandmas only. And grandpas.
And like, I hate when people say, like, take away Section 8. I'm like, do you really think, let's be honest, do you really think that's going to just make people just like, okay, tomorrow I'm going to school and I'm going to get a career job. Everything's, no. Like, no. I remember hanging out with the homies trying to tell people like, hey, yo, while I'm going to school, y'all should go to school too. But no, some people, and whatever their situation is, and different things like that. Some people need a leg up. They probably went through some shit. They got to pay off some debt. Whatever the case might be, like, we can't put everybody's situation in one. So we need that. And some people, whoever is a person that's going against Section 8 and different things like that, you might need that one day. Hopefully, and pray to God you never will. I know I denied that shit before, but you never know. You might be in a position one day where you really need to take that. And you saying take it away, you don't know. You might be out there doing the most strangest things for some money just so you can feed your kids if you got it.
First of all, Rob, because I see you in that chat talking shit about.
I want some people from the goo to come up. Let's talk about it. He's coming up.
Yeah, Rob, because I see you and you the homie. But I see you talk about us New Yorkers coming to your state. And I'm just going to tell you something. This land was made for you and motherfucking you can't tell me where the fuck to go with. Of course, we New Yorkers going to try to go to the most city of the city in the country. So yeah, if people going to come to Dallas because it's city.
Well,
and people going to come to Houston. They're going to come to Houston because it's the closest thing to the city in the country.
And ask Benny the Butcher what happened when he came to Houston.
We not going to Mississippi because that's in the middle of no fucking
Benny the Butcher, who's that?
Yeah, he's a rapper. But what happened to Benny the Butcher?
I don't care about Benny the Butcher.
I was just joking. And it's wrong for me to make a joke about a man. It's wrong for me to make a joke about a man that got shot and robbed. But look, this is all I'm saying. There's plenty of land on the eastern seaboard. There's West Virginia. There's Delaware.
West Virginia going to be in West Virginia.
There's the eastern region. No, so this is what I'm saying for New Yorkers. If you guys are so provocative and you're so hip hoppy, why don't you go to a place, gentrify it, and make it a new New York instead of coming to Houston and bringing your timberlands and your expensive food and your expensive housing, and you complain about things that don't matter. So you go and gentrify. Man, look, we'll give you Mississippi. You can have Bama.
We coming to make your state great again. Stop.
We make it great, right?
Rob, don't be hating.
Mel, you've looked up.
Rob, tell them to go to Belmont. They be happy in Belmont.
Man, they can go. Look,
you trying to take us?
There's West Texas. There's West Texas. There's El Paso. There's Midland, Odessa. There's the Panhandle.
But they want to go to the city.
Yeah, here's the thing, right? The New Yorkers that's from upstate New York, you can tell that to them. But the New Yorkers that's from the real New York, the city, we gonna go to the most cities of the country that we gonna go to. Like, yeah, it's country.
Y'all see this nigga Geronimo in the chats?
Listen,
time to come up.
It's country and y'all slow and y'all country bumpkins, but we gonna come and we gonna cityfy you country niggas, and that's just what it is.
I'm gonna say this though, right? What you just said. I don't think we got a problem with people come here and adapt to the culture and different things. Like the thing we have a problem with is the ones become a city council, different things like that, and say,
"Oh, they hadn't got like that."
We don't want y'all no more swingers. You can't go MLK swinging out of traffic no more. We gonna.
But them ain't New Yorkers though.
That's how
them ain't New Yorkers.
Why
is it swinging? Respect, man.
She said,
"What is we gonna
talk about Cali, okay? Get off of us."
Okay, so look, we'll go to for the West Coast. I offer similar suggestions. There's Utah, Salt Lake City is one of the fastest growing cities in America.
West Coast.
Nevada. There's Arizona, Colorado. Everyone's moving to Denver. I think that some black people should think about just going.
From Cali though, they really
to Wyoming,
moving to Arizona. Wyoming.
Places like that.
Arizona, yeah. But see, they moved. A lot of people from California moved to Arizona because they're building up. They're building up a Netflix studio and some other studios for work. But
I'm not moving to Arizona.
I'm definitely not moving.
I don't see trash cans melt.
But the thing is about Houston is like this: the ones that commit crime, we letting y'all know now. Then all these new people going to Galleria, trying to rob people in the garages and stuff like that. A few people got shot. In Texas, we got guns. We shoot back.
Here's the thing. Y'all be talking to the wrong people. Y'all need to focus on the YNs. They the ones that's committing all the crimes, and they from where y'all from.
No, they ain't. Nah, the
I don't know.
This is what people don't understand about this place.
No, let me say this. Because you know what pisses me off the most, especially here in Atlanta, when they say, you flew here, I grew here, and all of the shit that's going on is because of all you outsiders. No, nigga. Because first of all, I've been coming here my whole entire life, and a lot of these little country, little bumpkin kids, the new YNs, they are the ones that's doing all of the crime, and they ain't got shit to do with outsiders. They got everything to do with insiders and bad parenting.
Easy on the country.
Stop blaming
That's
them.
what I'm gonna say. When it comes to Houston, I'm gonna be real. It's not the out of towners that's necessarily increasing the crime rate, man. It's out of towners just don't understand that there's no good side of town and there's no bad side of town. Everywhere is intertwined with each other. I work in the Galleria area, all kind of money. Man, I would advocate everybody keep your head on the swivel in that area. And we coming to get you. It's like, yeah, man, it's all good. Y'all can move here. We don't really give a fuck. Just stop trying to impede on what we do as far as our local stuff, man. Like, other than that, we ain't tripping.
You know what? The way that Texas, I don't know why any black person for that matter would commit any crimes in the state of Texas. Because you might as well just go. Yeah, you might as well just go and tell the police that you want to just go to jail at this point for life. Because that's what you're going to do. I don't understand why y'all.
I'm gonna tell you this though, Brooklyn. I'm gonna tell you this though, Brooklyn. You gotta think about this, man. Like when you talking about Houston, Dallas, I even throw San Antonio in there. These are 3 cities. These are 3 of the 10 largest cities in the United States. Every major city has an issue with being under police in a lot of cases. Man, it's hard. It's actually hard to motherfucking like convict somebody of murder.
Yeah, but yeah, like I said, a lot of people get out like this in Texas.
Man.
Like, in Texas ain't like, okay, if you black and you do a crime. Like, a lot of times the police, if you get pulled over throwing a party or whatever the case, somebody knows you throwing like an after party or some shit like that, they gonna let you go. They gonna be like, are you good? You got anything? No? Alright, get the fuck up out of here, go home. Type shit. But the thing is about, like you said, murders get off a lot and different things like that. But like you said something about impeding on our culture out here. The thing is that people like to come out here and go down MLK. I want to go to the hood, go to Third Ward, and y'all see all the swingers and the slabs outside, and y'all be like, why are you blocking traffic?
Don't you live in California, Tony? And that's why
I live in Houston and California. Everybody know that. I'm in Houston right now.
That's why us Northerners bring y'all civilization. We make y'all civilized.
No.
Man, y'all niggas is out here having fucking bottle wars. This is what y'all doing, Brooklyn.
Putting respect on our name, because we making y'all civilized, you country bumpkin.
This is what y'all do. Y'all coming out here pouring your alcohol out on the fucking floor, proving that you can buy and waste more alcohol. That's what you're doing.
Well, listen, I don't know nothing about that. That's that new strand of nigga shit that I got nothing to do with.
Nah, Patty, what I'm about to say. To be fair, you and Brooklyn technically not be included in this comment, but just last night I got a report, man. I got a report that some Buffalo niggas was in area fucking 51 nigga tripping. That's why.
Patty said that's Canada.
Patty, Brooklyn, did y'all not listen to what I said? To be fair to y'all, this ain't got nothing to do with y'all. Did I not say that?
What area for doing?
Buffalo is an hour.
I mean, area 29, excuse me.
They're 29, I'm gonna say 29. What happened there yesterday?
Man, these niggas went crazy, and then I can't talk about everything, but they was doing too much. That's all you need to know.
Buffalo niggas is trying to prove that they trying to outdo New Yorkers, and they just can't. So they gonna do all kinds of shit. We don't claim them.
Well, they rapping better than y'all right now.
Rob said this ain't got nothing to do with y'all. But I'm gonna mention it to y'all like it got something to do with y'all.
Well, this like if something happened to like y'all second cousin or something, like you ain't gonna just be tripping. You gonna be like,
Rob, that's like we speaking about Mexico. Like, what are we doing right now? Stop.
yeah, no, that's actually in the same state. That would be the equivalent of me. That would be the equivalent of y'all speaking about El Paso.
New York State is the countryest place on the planet. That shit country. It's country people going to country
That's the other side of the border.
That's how I feel about West Texas.
You can't blame us for what Buffalo or anybody from upstate do because they just like they country bumpkins.
I love that for them. It's time for them to take charge.
Brooklyn, do you ever every now and then I want people
Some rappers that been coming through, so I get it.
Nah, I'm not speaking for the entirety of my state. I'm speaking for my city. I'm from the 4th largest city in the United States, man. Now, albeit it's some things that you'll see coming down certain neighborhoods.
It's not that impressive.
I'm from the
You will see a horse
in the United States.
you will see a horse. No, I'm just saying that this ain't the country. East Texas,
it ain't the country, but it's country.
That's the country.
It ain't the country, but it's not that impressive. So
you don't understand.
I don't think it's that impressive, Daddy. I actually agree.
Anything that isn't LA or New York City is country to New York. It gotta be Chicago, it gotta be LA, it gotta be Miami or New York City. And if it ain't them, you country.
Yeah, but they be hyping Houston because they got some buildings and shit. So they hype and they got the Ferris wheel. Ferris wheel? Is that what it's called? The Ferris wheel?
Yeah.
The Ferris wheel? What you talking about, man?
All the cities got a Ferris wheel.
You know why people hype Houston? You know why people hype Houston? I'm gonna tell you why people hype Houston because
we call it a wonder
before
wheel.
we got discovered, before it became a hit place to be.
hype Houston because they wanna. That's it.
Yeah, because it became a hip place to be. It used to be a place where a lot of black celebrities could come and get, they own homes here, and they move around.
All I know is when I went to Houston, right? And I went to the Galleria Mall. All these high-end fucking cars in front of the mall. Like, what the fuck are we doing? Like, what the fuck?
You realize, like, you would have to think about this. That's like the equivalent. That's like the equivalent of where is SMU at?
They parked this shit. It wasn't even the valet. They were parking that shit in the front. Is that the valet? Oh, okay.
What I'm saying is the difference between
and people all decked out inside the mall. Yo, we coming to the mall. Get some fucking sandals, throw on some sweats, and let's get this. Like, what are we doing? It was too much.
You don't get it.
It was too much.
We don't have.
Then y'all want to talk about, oh my God, poverty. We live in the 5th ward, the 3rd ward, the fucking houses. The house is fucked up, and look how y'all walking in the mall. What are we talking about?
You assuming that everybody that's at that would be assuming that everybody in the mall is fulfilling.
No, the purpose is it was a fucking Range Rover and a Benz truck parked in NYCHA Tilden parking lot.
Oh,
it's like, what the fuck kind of shit is this?
Definitely.
What is happening?
We're the only major city in the United States that does not have zoning laws. So what I'm saying by that is it operates different. You're going to see affluence mixed with poverty in this bitch. That's what it is.
Yeah, but that's everywhere. That's everywhere.
I got a feeling that stay in LaGuardia houses, right?
Yeah,
like down the street, there's fucking nice ass fucking buildings.
That's everywhere. So obviously in Texas, you can go from the hood to having a $200 home, 300. You drive a little bit down, you're gonna see $1 million homes. So once again, that's everywhere. That you're gonna go see the hood and you're gonna see high-end homes. You're gonna see expensive areas.
But you just made it a big deal about seeing people in front of the Galleria.
No, it was the cars. Let's be honest.
But it's a high-end mall, though.
It don't matter.
But I'm just saying, that's what
That's a high-end mall.
Don't see Lamborghinis in front of fucking Wall Street.
But Rob, you gotta realize in different cities they don't got parking lots, so they're not used to seeing cars parked. Everybody got parked on the side of the
Let me
street.
tell you a secret, bro. Let me tell you a secret, bro.
No, but we got this with the front literally in the entrance.
New York City has the most millionaires in the United States.
Yeah, I ain't talking about not having money.
A lot of them niggas get on the fucking train.
They do.
They ask back to they happy fucking
Bloomberg, a millionaire.
But that's the thing that most people.
Right. They not wasting their fucking
Speaking
money.
about the people in the hood, they care about what they drive before they care about where they live at.
Even
in Houston, people out here, you gonna see more people that's like educated, got a lot of shit going on for themselves, and that's why they drive them nice cars.
So you think that we don't have that in our city? What's going on?
No, I ain't say that. I love.
Okay, so let me tell you something. New York has a lot of rich people. Maybe you need to do a Google search. A lot. Like when I was a kid, I used to get on the 4 train, right? Because I used to stay out for Utica or get on the. Well, let me tell you something. Every time people would get off the train near Wall Street, and we know they got money. The niggas is fucking dressed decent with their sneakers. They not fucking driving they fucking Lamborghini to work. What's going on here? They not driving their Lamborghini to the fucking mall or no fucking. They don't do that. They get on the fucking train.
No, our public transportation system is a shithole.
Then you got fucking the whole of Houston, a pinky of fucking New York City. So what are you talking?
No, we won't
Yeah,
say
so
that.
what I'm saying, it wasn't even just the cars. It was the way people was dressed. Like they are trying to look for a man. Literally. They are decked out like they going to a party. But you're going to the mall.
Bill, I want you to also keep in mind that that's a touristy area too. I work in a hotel.
Yeah, I know. I see all the hotels around there. I know.
That's what I'm saying. That's a touristy area. Like so, every day.
And shit like that. Right.
I'm checking in people from Chicago, Philadelphia. Like it's like they coming from all over. So I don't think that the Galleria is like a. I mean, it's somewhere to go, but that ain't. Man, you don't know. Motherfucker might not be from here. And it's a lot of rich people that's right around there.
Yeah, but that move is not the way you guys make it seem.
And it definitely
What did they say about it?
What happened?
I said, what do people say about it? Everybody just says it's a big ass mall. That's all I heard.
Everybody's like, oh, Galleria. Oh my God, Galleria. And it was like, okay.
That's out of towners.
No, that's you guys. Galleria.
No. I'll be honest. Out of towners. The reason why they big up Galleria is because how big it is. Because you can get lost in that bitch such shit. So people like always big up like how big it is like from out of town.
But remember, we get that information from you guys. We don't know about it. So this is what I'm hearing prior to getting there. So when you when you speak about something so highly and then you go into something like, this is what y'all talking about, that's usually the feeling. That's when you
It's a mall.
Yeah, it's just.
I like what you would expect from a mall.
Man, I would say it's a 50-50 thing what you said because I heard that too. And I also hear people, they come there like, oh my God, this mall is so big and the streets are clean, there's parking. I'm like, the fuck?
You will get that energy from people that don't come from cities.
I don't know. I've been hearing that shit from people from Chicago and places that they think it's like, you know what? The reason why people
they might be surprised because y'all in the country and they.
I was about to say that they didn't expect that. A lot of times they come here, they don't expect Houston to be what it is. They think it's like nothing out here. They come out here like, wait a minute.
Well, respectfully, we got the internet, so we understand that Houston is popping. It's like somewhere that people like to go.
See, the thing is,
it's hot as hell, and I don't understand it, but whatever.
But for me, Houston's really popping.
I wouldn't doubt any man.
It's not really popping.
I was about to say that.
Fucking.
It's about the club, but what you just said.
I mean, it's not a touristy city. I don't understand why people is coming. Now I understand why people are moving here to live. But But as far as like the amount of people that just come out here to party, nigga, we shut down at 2.
Yeah, y'all shut down early.
You can't get no liquor on Sundays. Like, and I get it. Like that's what I'm saying. I ain't trying to, by no means I'm talking down on my own city. I just never saw it as.
We don't see why everybody comes.
I think Dallas.
Y'all just free
I
with
think
sex.
Dallas
That's
more of
fine. Y'all free with sex. That's the CDC.
Yes, but I would say this though, right? What you just said. I would say this about we've been partying 7 days a week. That's you go to a regular club. The club closes at 2. After hours, strip club. That's usually a 7-day week thing. It's really no age thing.
But it wasn't no fly shit though.
I think it's just the free. I think it's like with the free sex market. How y'all just out there. That's it.
I mean, we've been fucking like Vicky.
Atlanta used to be like that too. You know what I'm saying? Where they just was out there, just outside. If you look at y'all, the last couple of summers, y'all have had CDC warnings when it came to fucking these diseases. Like, I think, was it last year was a herpes outbreak y'all had? Like, y'all just be outside.
I mean,
Patty, for somebody that's as informed as you are, I'm not finished. It was the first time it was a syphilis outbreak.
It's been the last. Y'all had a herpes.
I know it happened.
Syphilis at one time. Y'all just have these outbreaks.
The out-of-towners came here.
Right now they have
HIV. It was actually your own people.
Right now they have herpes and HIV. Yeah. The numbers are high.
And the CDC gave a warning when. How the fuck I gotta get a warning traveling to a city? Don't fuck nobody in this city because they got a bunch of this.
But Patty, I'm gonna be honest with you. We been fucking out here. We never had.
But that's what I'm saying. It's this free sex thing. A lot of y'all just outside.
Hey, no, but what I'm trying to say is like this. We been fucking out here. As a cameraman and shit like that. Before.
Yeah, but you guys fuck and y'all don't know about safe sex.
Okay, I do sometimes, but I'm just saying this though. Right?
You guys were in. I'm serious. I'm actually.
Did I hear sometimes?
Yeah, he's fucking. That's sometimes when you caught that thing.
I haven't caught nothing. Grace to God, but I'm just saying this though, right? I'm saying this out here like B. King said that song in Houston, everybody fucking everybody type shit. That's a real term. But in the past 3 to 4 years, I really haven't been here. I just flew back a few months ago, shit like that. All these out-of-towners coming here and bringing their STDs and shit like that. Check their ass back.
You guys are bending over and letting them in.
There's literally man. There's
How are you trying to say that out-of-towners? What?
Out-of-towners bringing their STDs.
We already getting the alert. You think they're gonna be opening their legs to anybody over there? You crazy?
Y'all fucking each other out there.
Brought their ass in.
Y'all get dirty.
If y'all see what I see every night, if y'all see what I see every night, man, these out-of-towners is definitely fucking something, man.
Yeah, public policy.
I think it's mostly the men. It can't be too much.
I think Seth is trying to
the girls I know that ain't down.
No, I would agree 100% because a lot of dudes come here and like the girls are big, they fine or no, just shit like that.
Tony, I think Seth is trying to speak. I don't know if that's him.
Yeah, there's data around this. I mean, typically red states, your Bible states, Mississippi, Louisiana, Texas, your Arkansas, and so forth, because they're in the kind of Bible belt, and they're really hyper-religious typically, that you don't have a lot of sex education. So typically in those areas, from a public health standpoint, always have higher rates of STDs, have higher rates of teen pregnancies and so forth. It's not an uncommon finding. So your big cities like New York, your big states that are typically your bluer states, if you will, typically have programs that are in regard to sex education and so forth, which has impacted outcomes that are less, it's not like it's great, but it's less violent in those areas than it is in the Texases, the Louisianas, the Arkansas, and so forth.
Thank you. And that's per capita.
Yes, I'm just, but that statement you said about the dudes and stuff like that, I don't think the women here bring STDs, respectfully. I think a lot of dudes coming out of town from Atlanta, New York, definitely Atlanta. I had to say that twice. Because, like I said, Houston, we never change. And just the thing is, people came out here.
Found out about y'all fucking and sucking.
Yeah, they just found out like, oh, y'all been fucking. Yes, we been fucking. But the thing is that we just have a good time, go work, make our money, our rent's cheap. Like, for example, my apartment I got.
All it takes is a few people to spread the damn shit. What are you talking about?
No, it do. It take one nasty motherfucker to come here and give it to somebody, and she only knowing that she fucks somebody, then, you know, so on, and it repeats. And it spreads.
That's why you don't wear condoms sometimes, though. Like, you already messed up the whole thing. I don't understand why we're still talking about it.
You ask these men when was the last time they purchased a box of condoms. We're gonna be very surprised at the answers.
Nah, I keep one in my wallet. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, that shit is probably expired.
Sometimes.
That shit is probably expired in your wallet.
As we move forward across the nation, you're going to see an increase in a lot of different types of STIs. You're also going to see an increase in mumps and things of this nature that were typically taken care of in the past with vaccines, will become increasingly more, anti-vax, anti-science. And so you're going to see a lot more of the diseases that we don't normally see. I remember I worked in a small town in Texas, in Jasper, a real country town. I live in Houston. And it was the first time I saw syphilis. And it's like,
Here's how they did James Byrd.
These are the type of situations that we're going to see moving forward, because we're kind of living this kind of anti-science type of environment right now. So I would tell you guys, make sure you wear your condoms. Women, there's vaginal condoms for women as well.
Women don't have sex. Keep your legs closed.
Well, I mean, they're going to have sex. So if you're going to do it, I just say do it responsibly. And another thing that people don't do, is I have a lot of people come in my clinic that I ask them after they have the STI. I'm treating is like, okay, for 4 months or 3 months, whatever the case may be, did you all exchange your medical records? Did you say, hey, before we do this, let's go get...
It keeps going in and out.
Did for HIV, hepatitis, and exchange the paperwork. Typically...
Said you're going in and out, but I think you're giving good information. Sorry.
Typically, exchange that information before you have sex, and I highly recommend you do that. I know it's not always easy. We go out to parties. We're 25 years old. I'm older now, so I remember being 25. But we kind of get caught up in the moment. But if you can, as you get more serious in relationships, and even if you are in a long-term relationship, I always recommend that people every 6 months or every year, some sort of interval, because people cheat. I mean, even though the most trustworthy person you think they are, I think for us, we're going to be getting tested every 6 months.
No, it's definitely every 6 months. Or I say anytime you go in a raw, you gotta get yourself checked. That's how I say it.
It's a cold, cold world out there.
Oh my God, that's how I'm. Hell no. I ain't trying to get nobody pregnant. No time soon.
Yeah, y'all wildin' in Houston.
Well, sometimes you use the condom. You might, the one time you forget, you might get somebody pregnant.
It's super wild for a motherfucker that buy a table. I be like, oh my God.
Oh yeah, get the table out here. It's like what, $400 or something like that. And girls,
It's like that hair for $400. You like, are you serious?
Yeah, that's
It's like
great
that
place.
head on Patty. You know, that's a
400 is shit in New York.
Right.
And the millennial, yeah, that ain't nothing. It ain't really 400 ain't nothing here neither. Them fucking sections be $1,000.
Yeah, it's $1,000 in Atlanta.
But that's why, like, if I go to, like, Houston or somewhere like that with my wife, I'm definitely going to get a second. Right? Because it's hella inexpensive.
But the locals go crazy. Like, they be giving it up for a fucking 400. Yo, I went with some girls and guys to freaking Houston, like some other offices. We bought a fucking table. Do you know they brought home chicks just because of a cheap ass table?
Yup.
No conversation. All they had to do was pour some liquor in their fucking mouth.
That's all it is. Can I get some of your drink? Here you go. But see, I'm a cameraman, so you can read everything for free. So it's like, the sections like 400 shit like that, but also people like they make decent money here, so they don't just spend $400. They get that in about
I
like
don't know if y'all make decent money, cause like I was looking.
No, as a census, no. As a census, and I would say this, as a census, no. Paperwork by the minimum wage, no. I'm not going to sit there and say that.
Even salary. So I was looking at some.
I mean, or no, even salary. You're right, but I'm saying is a lot of people here got a hustle, or they got a side hustle, or they doing more than just a regular job to make their money and stuff like that. But,
I was supposed to go to. I was looking at a position that they had for. You know, we got these positions for ROTC where officers go as a TD assignment, and when I was looking up the jobs or how much they pay equivalent, I was like, what the fuck?
But wait, but you just factor in the cost of living?
Yeah, but it's not only the cost of living. You gotta look at the property taxes. Then you gotta look at the fact that Houston floods, right?
Yeah, that's true.
That it's not even a balance. So I was like even with my homegirl at the time when I was trying to, I was gonna try to do ROTC at y'all university downtown. She was telling me like, don't buy house rent. It's a waste of fucking funds. Just rent for now, because she knows I always buy when and I was like, yeah, what if I want to buy it or rent it out later? She's like, yeah, the upkeep's gonna be crazy. Because she even told me like downtown Houston has certain areas that flood. Like she was just telling me all the areas, like it's not something to invest. Right?
And their utilities out of control in Texas.
That too.
Really expensive.
Yeah,
so I did know that.
Yeah, I can tell you now, like, when I came back from LA, because I was paying $2,300 a month for my apartment I had out there in Hollywood. I came out here back to my old apartment paying $800 a month where I'm at. Dead ass.
That's
ain't the,
well, I know the apartments near the college, or the one that I was looking at the time when I was trying to, I think it was the one of them I was looking at was like 4,000 and change, so yeah. And then she was telling me when she was looking in that area, because y'all are trying to gentrify certain parts of downtown, she was like, yeah, like 2 blocks down the street is real crappy. So like, it may not be the best choice. But yeah.
Best choice when living out here in Houston is, for me, I like this area called West Chase. If you Google it, it's like a lot of things nearby, different things like that. It's kind of quiet and stuff like that. Apartments is pretty decent. It's right. It's not too far from the Galleria area or where the clubs are at, and stuff like that or whatever. But me, the places I avoid, NOF, NAWF. I know I said North wrong, but we call it NOF for a reason. And downtown and Third Ward. Those are areas I really don't. I would never get a place in unless I'm buying a house or renting it out to somebody.
So I'll give you the list of the areas. I don't know. I know she was trying to have me move in the museum district or some shit like that. Wait. Let me see. I gotta go through my text message.
Did you guys hear about the guy who died in Detroit? And his last wish was to give away all his money. He was like a car wash owner, to give away all his money to the community, and so he had a helicopter throwing the money over to everybody.
Yeah, that was here in Detroit. Yesterday.
Did you get any of that money, Sandra?
Oh no, I wasn't in Detroit yesterday.
Oh, okay.
But
I was gonna be happy for you.
I wish. But he had a big block party. They had the homegoing celebration, then they had a big block party, and then he had a helicopter come over and drop all that cash. That was crazy.
Good for them keeping his wish, too, because I'd have been like, shoot, bruh, I can talk this money.
How much money was it?
Let me look. Hold on.
I can't remember. Just read that, too.
Okay, the cheapest
they were all $100 bills, what I saw in the picture.
The cheapest one she sent me was House Memorial. It was a 2-bedroom for $3,100.
It says
the other one.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Benny.
The other one was Market Square Towers, and the 2-bedroom was $4,300 for 1 unit, and the other one was $56,000. And then
like 2-bedroom for $1,800 in the Washington Ave district. and it's way cheaper and stuff like that, and it has a lot of amenities. You fucking dickwad. Who the fuck I'm always wait. But I'm about to put in the chat in a second, and they let you Airbnb out the place also. Like, I don't really see apartments for $4,000, $3,000, because if I'm paying that much, I'm getting a house. But
yeah, but she was telling me it doesn't make sense for buying a house because of the insurance and then the flooding issues.
And if you a rent, you might as well just get like a luxury apartment. It's like between
and that's what she was telling me. Yeah, luxury, and that's the ones that she had sent me. It was one was in West Dallas. It was $2,800. The other one I told you was looking at all of them. House Memorial, that was $3,100. That's off of Washington Ave, and the one that was $5,600. So that's crazy.
I'm about to put one in the chat right now. Like they have like.
Yeah, I'm not moving there now.
Oh, you're not. Oh, okay.
Yeah. That was for a ROTC position at y'all, because it's closer to the college. She was telling me, and then don't get caught up in traffic. And then she was looking for places that were closer, because you guys do have a lot of charging stations. So just the areas that may have electric within there.
Oh, you got a Tesla or something?
Yeah.
Brooklyn, that was $10,000, by the way. That was thrown over the helicopter.
Oh, that was it. That was a man.
She has free money, though. Hold on.
Yeah.
You gotta stop acting like it ain't no money.
She said
if you get $100 for free, people are feeling good.
Yeah, that was nice of him to do that. That was his dying wish. Shout out to him for that.
I wonder, was he black?
His memory will live on forever.
When you were looking at that, Patty, I was telling them about this guy who died. His last wish was to get money up, throw it off of the helicopters in the community. It happened in Detroit.
It's called Juka Belediye, Lebanese Beledi cheese. And let me describe this puppy.
Please do. We got 5 minutes. Go ahead.
Beledi is a soft white cheese originated in the Middle East and produced by La Formerie Polytech in Lebanon. It is known as Jibne Belediye in Arabic. In local language, Belediye means local cheese made from a flock of Beledi goats. Let me describe this puppy. Since Beledi is made from unpasteurized mixture of goat, cow, and sheep's milk, it has to be consumed within 3 days. It's like soft, sweet, slightly salty, and goddamn heaven. You're welcome. Remember this at your local grocery stores. Baladi.
Thank you. Andrew, what's your favorite cheese?
Head.
Head. Okay.
Another joke. Yeah, kidding. Yeah, I like the Asiago as well. And anything that is smoked, I really totally enjoy. And the other, I don't know about sheep cheese, but I like cheap cheese, so I look for that as well.
And thank you. And last but not least, Reverend Scott, who will be taking over for me at the start of hour number 3. Reverend Scott, what is your favorite type of cheese?
I like a nice Vermont sharp cheddar.
All right, very good. Where else? I don't think we've ever spoken about cheese before. That was great. Thank you, Shape, and thank you, Andrew. And for those of you in the audience, we encourage all of you, especially the new speakers. Unlike other clubhouse rooms, we put a premium on the new speakers. We encourage you to be bold, brave, courageous. Raise your hand, come on up. You can talk about anything you want. It's just evidence. You can talk about cheese. You can talk about God, religion, politics, current events, clubhouse, you, me, the show. Just have a take and don't suck. when you come on up, you can either go on a narrative, ask me to go on mute, talk for 5 minutes, just don't say anything completely stupid, or you can engage with me or my mod squad. I have assembled, without a doubt, the best mod squad in the history of Clubhouse. And with that, we are about 90 seconds away from the top of the hour, so it's time for our break. And Reverend Scott will be taking over after the break. So by all means, please don't go away, okay? We will be right back with hour number 3 and Reverend Scott.
Like, the benefit you get from being in Vegas is they, subsidize all the flights. So it must be really fucking cheap for you to just fly there and back. Dude.
Well, it's nice because I can get non-stops everywhere, and it is relatively cheap. But the problem is, I just don't like flying all the way to Atlanta.
I hear you.
I really don't like going across the country if I don't have to.
Is it a time zone thing or just a distance?
Well, yeah, it's 5 hours in an airplane, and then, getting back and forth is, annoying. I lose time. I lose a lot of time going there. So, the problem is, okay, on the way there, I have to leave at the ass crack of dawn. Let's say I leave at 6 a.m., and I have a 5-hour flight. I get to, New York by, 4:30. And that's just it feels like a whole day wasted. And then I stay up partying with East Coast people. And then I have to get back on the plane to come to the West Coast. And then I gain time, but now I have a fucking hangover. I feel like shit. And then I go right back into my responsibilities. So it's the wrong direction,
So funny enough, if you were a East Coaster going West Coast, it would work.
Way better.
Yeah, that makes sense. Because I don't have that problem, but then again, I'm thinking because I'm always returning to the East Coast.
It's way better to be an East Coaster going west than a West Coaster going east.
It sucks when you get out there and you can't stay up late because you're so exhausted.
Well, yeah, that's the benefit of being a West Coaster going east is I'll be partying with you guys and it's midnight your time and it's 9 p.m. on my body clock and I'm like, let's keep going.
Yeah.
So that is the benefit. And then when you go to England, you get that benefit times triple, Because it's let's party till 4 a.m., fuck it. Except for when I went to England, then I had to give a speech at 2 a.m. on my body clock, which was fucking horrible. Yeah.
I think the funniest conference I ever did was Wenbush had a quarterly shareholder meeting that they asked me to speak at in 2015, 2014.
I remember Wenbush. They used to write those research reports that were a big deal.
Yeah, they were the largest, so they're the largest West Coast investment bank, which is being the smartest kid in special ed.
What happened to them, by the way? Do they still have a lot of Bitcoin?
I think so. So I'm still friends with so they had, Wedbush is run by a family. The family says that they're going to be thesis driven. And my friend Sherry is the one who ran their head of equities. Sherry has since left Wedbush. I don't know what their current strategy is, but Sherry and Gil were the ones who constantly wrote research reports saying that you should put as much of your money as you could into Bitcoin. So for a while, they were the biggest deal in finance, saying...
I read those reports. I remember we were all like, yeah, fuck yeah, these guys, they get it.
Yeah. So I gave a talk, and dude, their conference started at 5:30 in the morning.
Ugh, man.
And it's even crazier because they're West Coasters, so for them, that's 2 a.m. But because they because they go to work with the stock market. Like, they have to show up to the office at 2 a.m. to be there for 2 hours to then, wait for the market to open. But then their day is done at like 1 p.m. or 2 p.m. or something.
Yeah, so that is the benefit of being on the West Coast is I'm up at 5 a.m. with the markets, and it's nice because by 1:30 the day is over.
It's a very weird clock. Do you remember when I talked about how Jordan Peterson stopped Antifa from rioting at his events?
Oh yeah, because he got them all to show up early in the morning.
Yeah, he just, instead of doing events at 8 p.m., he did them at 8 a.m., and no one on the left wants to protest. Like, dispositionally, the kind of person that wants to destroy things will not wake up at 6 a.m. to riot.
So that's when we'll hold all our Nazi meetings. It's good to know. all the Hitler Youth rallies shall take place at 6 a.m. It's funny. There was this Twitter comment about, it said, communists, people who identify as communists, why don't you own a gun if you're in America? And then there were a bunch of people being like, my